I went through suffering and came out the other side more than was just like, I'm not a naturally happy person. I did start doing drugs at the end of high school. Started with ecstasy and then cocaine in college. I went to UCSC for a couple of years. And those were great. They helped me grow a lot as a person. And then I stopped being quite as intentional about my drug use. And it like quickly got really bad. I started using heroin, pretty much just like turned my brain off for a decade, was mainlining fentanyl at the end of it, severely depressed at the end of my 20s. Yeah, not everybody knows me on Twitter, like knows this part of it. So it's funny seeing like what impressions people have of me. Anyway, so kind of like, and again, there's a whole bunch of stuff happened at the end of my 20s. Like I mentioned, 33 now. I ended up having sciatica. This guy that I was with for like 10 years broke up with me. My housemates all moved out of my house. I was in my car. I didn't plan for anything because I was kind of too apathetic about life. So when I got sciatica, I couldn't work, so I couldn't walk, and I ran out of vacation pay and just didn't have it in me to like, I could have found a job. Like I'm good at interviews and things like that, but I just couldn't remember why I should care about life enough to go through all of that. And I ended up, my tire fell off my car, which is a whole long story. And I kind of like, my dealer stopped answering his phone. And I just kind of stopped using heroin because I didn't care about going through withdrawal anymore. And I was already over it. But I started using crystal meth right away because I was like full on the street there, not in my car anymore. And I was just like, well, if I'm going to be homeless, I need to figure out how to survive. And so I started befriending other homeless people, and everybody uses crystal meth on the street in LA. And did that for like 2 years, 2.5 years, something like that. Ended up in an abusive relationship that was like, I mean, any kind of abuse you can think of, it was happening. And I never saw myself as the kind of person who would get themselves into one of those kind of situations. And through the course of all that stuff happening, I just, at some point, there's like a really specific moment in time where I call it like my happiness switch flipping. Like with that guy, I tried to kind of like turn myself into the kind of person that I thought would be good for him. It's kind of hard to describe. I felt like he needed help more than I did. So it's like, all right, I got to just like all this stuff that happened on the street, all this trauma, whatever, I got to process it later. Like not right now. I will do it later. Just right now, this other person needs me. And so I was like, it's like almost overnight. Like I stopped using, I started being really chipper and just trying to like boost his spirits. And then like at the end of it, when it got really bad, I was like, oh wait, if I can do all that for someone else, I can do all that for me and just like turn myself into the person that I want to be. And so ever since then, that's what I've been doing. And it's really wonderful.